champion select. The ban's underway, and I can tell you now, surprise, surprise, the first two bans, Draven and Kennen.
You called that one, but we're going to go for next because we do have Giants with this next ban. They could take out, quite a bit of champions. Maybe the Vi out of Shushay, because why would you want to give him that champion? It's been so devastating. It's also been playing a lot of actually going for Thresh. Okay.
Yeah, we've seen that Thresh can be a real big game changer with those hooks and what have you. So I think it's a good decision at this stage. Then we see Ryze banned out. Obviously, that targeted directly over to Extermin. Xin Zhao banned out. Maluno, we said it in the game yesterday that it's just worth probably a Xin Zhao ban against him.
I'm thinking maybe Cassin as a last ban to just keep Exter out of this, but his Twisted Fate is really spot on. We see him in a couple of games, actually against Gambit, just play amazingly well with him. Yeah. But that still leaves open a lot of champions. And DragonBorns with their last ban here, just waiting to see what it is. Actually, they go with Volibear, okay. Because that's been one of those junglers that kind of just broke out of nowhere. Everyone seems to be playing him now. And Morden, we heard RNA talk about him. He's probably one of the top junglers in Europe right now.
Yeah, and he likes to play those high hit point junglers as well. We saw him start of the season really with the Mundo in there as well. But as we talked about, Vi not banned out this time by Giants, and it's because they wanted it here as the first pick. They're going to get that. On the other side, DragonBorns currently hovering over Jarvan and Kayle, and Kayle will be locked in, as will Jarvan.
This is really interesting because we've seen Shushay play Jarvan, we've seen Maluno play Jarvan, we've seen Shushay play Kayle, Maluno can play Kayle. It's just one of those things. It's a big mind game. You don't know exactly where they're going to be going. So it's really hard to pick against that. And Giants with their next two picks, Cassin's still open, Twisted Fate as well. It depends where Vi's really going to go. And, you're mentioning Morden playing those really high health champions. To me, he doesn't seem like someone that really but really plays those damage junglers. But might we see a Nami? This might be like the first one in a competitive play minus OGN where we saw, I can't remember the team off the top of my head. I think maybe it was a Zubu Frost playing them.
I don't think so. Honestly, if I'm going with my gut feeling, I'm probably going to say no. But we've seen strange picks coming out already, so why not?
I can say this. At least with Vi, her synergies is pretty up there because the Q off of Nami plus the ultimate off of Vi, you're going to keep them in the air for a long time. Yeah. Then you have the wave after that ultimate to just really set yourself up. Oh wow, looks like they actually might keep this. Okay. Well, it was really good synergy, but instead they go for that Sona, and then Diana in that mid lane. We've seen Exter play it, did really good with her, and she's really overpowered. RNA was talking to us as well yesterday, saying, I don't understand why Diana's not banned anymore, not played too often anymore, because they retweaked her, they originally nerfed her, then they gave her some more, they tweaked her ratios a little bit more so she was stronger, and now she's being played a lot more in Europe, and also Skara in North America's been playing quite a bit of her.
Yeah, and of course she's a really sticky champion who can lock onto a target really easily, as can Vi as well, so the synergy between those two, really great for nuking down that single target.
Dive, buddies.
Dive. With the hands and everything, or the fists, as maybe is the case in this one.
That'd be a little better.
On the other side, Taric Caitlyn locked in for DragonBorns, obviously not having that Draven here for Hosan, which he's obviously made his name with. There's a Tristana pick, which, as we've seen in the US, in North America and LCS, is powerful at the moment, but we've not really seen it being brought over into Europe.
Yeah, that's definitely true. And we see the Taric and Alistar be a nice combo for, counter that, but we have the Sona already picked up, so Sona will be very squishy, and you have Hosan with that long range off of Caitlyn, but it looks like actually might go for that Tristana. And a 6-item Tristana is just so devastating. The range you have, the damage you can do, and your mobility. This is why I hate talking about champions before they pick them. It goes with the Vayne. Goes with the Vayne now, which I've been playing around with in the new patch. The Blade of the Rune King on her, because you do % damage with that, you do % damage with your silver bolts, and you get attack speed off of it as well. It's not a bad item, and they have really good protection for him.
And the Shen coming in there as well, we should mention, which at the end of the day, Shen, almost surprised that a Shen these days gets towards the last pick, because we've seen how annoying and how powerful these Shens can be throughout. The one in the last game, obviously, up to 4,600 HP or something ridiculous by the end of that one. But let's see what DragonBorns going to finish their lineup off with here. Obviously, we've got Jarvan, Kayle, the Taric Caitlyn in there as well. What are they going to finish off here?
Thinking maybe Renekton or actually maybe Darius, because Swantex has played quite a bit of them. Those dunks, when you build full tank Darius, the dunking ability with that true damage actually goes for Wukong instead. And that's a perfect setup as well. You have the ultimate out of Jarvan, you have the knock-up off of Wukong, you're going to keep them there for a long time, and you have really good protection for Caitlyn if they do dive into that backside, because you have the Kayle ultimate, and then you have obviously the Taric to help out with that, and if you want, Wukong and Jarvan can kind of sit back there and help, or they can dive into the enemy team and really lock that Vayne down.
See, that's why I kind of liked, and I was already thinking about this, why they were hovering over Tristanen. That ultimate to knock someone back and completely away from you again, against someone like Wukong and against Jarvan, could actually be really powerful. I mean, Vayne has that to a lesser extent, I think we can safely call it in that one, but certainly got a similar kind of tool in there. But Jason, with the picks being locked in now, who are you fancying for this one?
I think Giants. I mean, we've talked about the current meta. It's the League of War model right now. It's build health, build armor, and win games.
And we touched on this a little bit. Hosan's like, if we play with the hair tied up, we don't do too well. If it's down, maybe that's where all the power is.
Well, I mean, look at Gambit Gaming.
Actually, Shushi's beard's getting so long now, you could actually knit it into his hair and have just like a halo of power hair around his face. Just making that point, as we are going to get here into the game. So, Giants versus DragonBorns, a mid-table clash here in the European LCS. Both teams already shown us a lot of promise up until now, and this will really be towards the playoff spots.
Yeah, it's really, I mean, that's the point of being in the middle of the standings. You have to win these games because you really want to separate yourself. You don't want to be in the relegation. You don't want to have to play for your spot in the rest of the season. And looking at these level ones, I wouldn't be surprised if you actually see Giants go for one. You have the Condemn, you have the Shen Taunt, you have the Diana Poland if you want to go for that, or maybe go for your Q for some damage. Not to mention Vi does a little bit of a knockup, but we do see DragonBorns kind of just sitting on the line of scrimmage, which I was talking about yesterday. Kobe mentioned that over in North America. And Giants, I mean, they're just kind of waiting this bush, and a lot of teams do this. And we saw it actually work really bad for a team. I can't remember who it was, but we had a Shen Taunt or Flash and Taunt over the wall, and they picked up that first blood.
Yeah, they were stood on a ward on that one as well. I remember that as well from yesterday, as we see the Jarvan flag put down there by Maluno. He's going to back straight off to this one, looking like they're going for the Wolves. And in terms of wards here, quite a lot less than we've been used to seeing, I think we can safely say. Just a couple on the top side. That one the one ward on the red side of the bottom of the river, just protecting that entry into blue, but not really too much vision there at the start of this.
And that's the funny thing, is that look at how many wards Giants is currently sitting on. You have one on Shen, one on Diana, 3 on Sona, as well as a vision ward. They have the ability to put those wards down if they want to, but I guess they feel confident. I guess they researched the teams enough to know where they're planning on going. And actually, yeah, they did use that ghost ward towards that top side. But we are going to have a lane switch. So we're going to have the 80 carry support in this top lane, and we're going to have the solo laners over towards the bottom. And that's going to be really interesting because Spawn Text is really going to be a key factor if DragonBorns wants to take the Dragon, because he has the ability to knock you up. That ultimate is just so key in these fights. And I was wondering, why wasn't he running teleport? And it's because he wanted to do that switch. Oh, Jimbones.
By the red buff here. So that left Jimbones a little bit alone. He came out from the turret, instantly gets stunned up, and that's already a vital summoners down from Jimbones.
And yeah, the whole point of putting that ward was because they wanted to go potentially for Invader. Oh, wow.
So, and that's Hosan,
He's aggressive.
So aggressive. I mean, we've seen him with Draven, exactly how aggressive he can be. He's going to force Jimbones to completely leave the lane.
And you can't afford to do that on a Vayne, because now DragonBorns, they push that lane up very quickly, denying him a lot of levels, and they can just boss him around. So they did switch it up. They sent Shen top now because, he's already so Luna was going, but there also was a potential for them to invade and deny it away from him, but not with that cleanse being down.
They can't actually do anything extra after that one. But still, if they can force his Diana out of the lane, then it's a winning scenario for them at that stage. Jimbones here, actually he's 20 CS behind that of Hosan, as we are going to see Morden coming in towards Shuche, but I think Morden's going to have to back away from this one, but here comes Diana. Jarvan going to come around the side, intervention use. Morden going to use Assault and Battery, as well as Shen is coming in here as well. Flash use, Shuche going to go down, and that is a nice kill, another kill even, picked up for Morden. And I tell you what, Moveit's not safe here. He's going to flash over the top of the wall, that will keep him safe for now, but Jarvan gets taunted up. Now they focus around on towards the AD carry. Great 90 caliber net away, and then the flash as well to avoid the vault breaker. And that will leave us at 4-4, 200 or even 150 or so gold. The only difference between these teams.
And Giants are picking them off one by one, Joe. And with how long they've been a team, we've talked about this before, how experienced and how long their time together has really helped them out and benefited them as a team. You're seeing it right here because they're catching back up. We do have Spontex trying to go in. Unfortunately, does get condemned away, and that's, we're talking about Vayne and Tristana. That's one of her powers, to be able to get you away from her so she can escape. But still, a 4-man gank coming down in the spot lane.
They are in a lot of trouble here. Giants, they both have flash available. Cleanse is there for Jimbones as well. He's going to go invisible. Actually turns around on towards Hosan, but Babetta is surely going to go down. Yes, he will be finished off there by Spontex with the Ignite, but Extermin coming down here as well. Spontex dives back in. as he just decoys himself away, and now DragonBorns are on the back foot and not quite connecting there, Diana, and that will be DragonBorns safe.
They could have turned that if Maluno had just a little bit more mana. They had those double ultimates up. They had Caitlyn who just there physically able to do a lot of damage. Actually, might be spotting here. Oh, sorry. Same team. Anyways, we just want to going back to lane, farming it back up. And, you know, the dominance he had in his lane in that 1v2, he kind of lost it here because of that kill he gave over to JimBones, because he caught up in levels, caught up in CS.
Yeah, really impressed with how Morden's done so far here as well on Vi. Obviously had a lot of presence, and he's really strong already by now with the Spirit Stone in there, plus a pickaxe, so a nice spike of damage for that Vi to try and command this early game. The Wukong and Shen both have that Giants belt in. Obviously, Wukong with a decent CS lead, plus that 3-1-1 scoreline that he has right now, has a Brutalizer Doran's Blade on top of it as well. Shushay going to be spotted here, condemned. Not quite against the wall, but Dragon started off by DragonBorns. They've got 4 men down there. Spontex will join the party as well as he decoys in. That's going to give him the opening. He gets in, puts the ulti down. Extermin going to be the focus. Ace in the hole will actually hit him. He's finished off by Hosan, but Maluno going low. The intervention comes out to save him. Morden's going to Vault Breaker away, but can they lock down JimBones? They decide against chasing in for it. Well, they'll be happy with that 1-for-0.
That was such a great timing of DragonBorns to go for that, because they knew the Crescendo was down for Babetta. They knew he had no flash, and they had all their ultimates up to go in. So that Dragon baiting them in for that kill helps them get a little bit more of a gold lead. Not able to pick up that Dragon just yet because Vayne is still around. I mean, doesn't have amazing items at this point, but even at this low level, even with these low items, still does an insane amount of damage. And he actually is leveling up those Silver Bolts first, so the more health you get, it's not going to help you against her.
Dragon, of course, wasn't taken down in that last encounter. You see Shen picking up the Doran shield and a chained vest and his last times home. Morden is just going to force movement out of this middle lane, push the minion wave up there, and they can then back off and have an attempt at this Dragon. Diana coming in, Shen a little bit off that, but he does have Stand United available, so he can join into that fight whenever he wants. Dragon already started off. Caitlyn is in the top lane here, so Hosan not going to be able to do anything about this. DragonBorns decide completely against contesting the Dragon. Thank you, Jason. And that will bring Giants back to just within 200 gold difference. In fact, it's still around 150 the way it's ticking over.
Yeah, I mean, overall, that was a really smart play by DragonBorns, because they knew Sona had the Crescendo back up. They knew they used their ultimates, or a lot of their ultimates in that last fight. They just didn't really want to force a fight that they weren't sure they could win, which is really a smart move. But, I mean, everyone's going back to farm at this point. The lead that they had early on has completely dissipated, and if anything, Giants gained their own lead right now.
You see Shushay taking the blue buff over for DragonBorns. Going to be safe in that one as well. No one in the near area. If we look at the CS, actually, Hosan doing a good job of keeping this 20 CS lead. Actually starting to get a little bit bigger than it was earlier. And there's, again, the aggression. Quite happy to get a few shots off onto Extermin, who they know he's not going to be wanting to take too much damage. Hosan just chips away and Morden as he comes to back up this middle lane. Shushay going to be coming in from the side there as well. Jarvan's not too far away, but Wukong is the one that's actually waiting in the tri-bush on this bottom lane. Maybe for Vayne to come out as Extermin going to go in here. They go on towards Shushay. Here comes Stand United. Morden going to go in towards Shushay. He uses his ultimate on himself. Extermin going pretty low, but Kale will die. Mover's not going to escape this one either. Tries to get a last-ditch heal off, but they've picked up 2 kills for that one. But here comes Maluno around the side. Gets the knock-up on all 3. There's Cataclysm. Morden going to be the focus, but he is so tanky right now. Actually, will Vault Breaker away. Where's the Dragon Strike? They need it. He dodges the Caitlyn. There it is. Finished off with the flag. And, well, Maluno picks up the kill. That will leave it at a 2-for-1.
And this is why we talk about you can't let a Shen go through. The taunts he keeps landing in every single game has changed the way the fight ends up going. We do have Spontex in his weight. He came up from the bottom, wait on the side, but that is why Shen is so powerful, because now you go back to the top, keep split pushing, finish that Sunfire Cape fairly shortly, and the thing is, DragonBorns can't really do much damage to him at this point, because he's just going to have that armor. That's the downside of having, you know, one of those normal AD carries right now, is if they build armor and health, you can't really do much until you get that last Whisper combo.
And we see Vayne pushing that bottom lane out as well. Actually brought that CS back. I was talking 20 CS. That's what it was hanging around at up until I guess, a 15-minute point by now, and he's within 5 CS now, but they're tracking down Jimbones on this one. Mover actually going to head down south from the river. He's going to walk towards here. This could actually be really dangerous for Mover. He's going to get condemned there. Not quite against the wall as he gets the stun down onto Jimbones, but the rest of DragonBorns coming in from around the side, but they will just simply disengage and walk back to lane.
And Giants, they have to feel good right now. They have this advantage, even though they're down a little bit in gold. Their teamfight presence is just so strong for them, and by having Samek is just so big as well as Morden, they can do these fights without worry. We have to talk about Summers a little bit because we never really go into that too much. But you see Babetta, he's running the only exhaust on his team, and that is strictly for spawn techs. When he dives into the backline, he's got to use it. We do have Meluna going in on the Morden though.
Yeah, but it just can't kill him right now. That's the problem. I mean, Ninja Tabby in there, got that Giant Spelt Pickaxe and the Spirit Stone, as I mentioned earlier on. The AD carries, we can talk about their items as they're developing a little bit. Home Guard Berserkers, plus the BF Sword Vamp Scepter, double Doran's Blade for Hosan, compared to the BF Sword Berserker Greaves Pickaxe and Vampiric Scepter over for Vayne at this stage.
And going back to the exhaust real quick, so Babetta, he needs to focus his strictly on spawn techs when he goes in for the dive. And then over on DragonBorns side, Mover needs to use his whenever Extra goes in, because he's got to stop that damage. I mean, Morden will do some decent damage, but he's going to have to build tanky or he can't survive diving into the backside. So, I mean, honestly, either one you use it on is really going to be helpful, and it's going to allow Hosan to just stay alive and just sit back and attack. And as long as he can, stay healthy, Shushay can afford to use his ultimate on someone else, most likely Spawn Tex, who's, going to the backside, or maybe Meluna, or even himself.
Yeah, as we've seen. Shushay actually there managing to zone Jimbones completely away. As Morden is going to come around. That should be enough to keep that turret safe for now. And Morden's going to say, job done down here. I'm going to have a bit of a dance and walk home.
I think Shen Semix has a tent up there or something, because he's been camping this top side, just pushing as much as possible. His CS, he was so far behind Spawn Tech, he's managed to pass him at this point. And even in total gold, he's only down about 40 at this point. So he's been able to get back in the game. He's that tanky force that it's really hard to deal with early on. As they do get that turn on the bottom. We do have Shen coming in the bot lane, though.
Here we go. Shen going to come down the bottom. Hosan doing a lot of damage to Morden. Will pick up the kill. Shushay puts the intervention on himself. Jimbone's forced to flash away. Will actually get with the tumble behind Babetta to keep him alive with the ultimate. But Diana is coming around the backside. The slow comes down to move it. Here we go. Diana going to aim in there. Actually will miss. Gets stunned up as well. Hosan knocked against the wall with the condemn. But it's not done just yet, because Diana is coming in. Mover going to be pulled right back around. And there is the finisher from Extermin. It's 8-8 in kills. For now, at least. Samex is going to get caught up here inside of that Cataclysm. We see Spontex going to the backside, puts the Ignite down. Samex trying to get away from this one, but they've got enough health to get under the turret, but they turn it around. Spontex going low. He's trapped under the tower. Morden will be gifted that kill, and now he's going to keep going as well. Maluno had to tank the turret up as he went. What's Maluno going to do? He's got no mana to really do anything at this stage. As a ward goes down from Morden, he's got full mana as he charges up there. Going to dash in towards Maluno, but can he actually get the finisher here? Yes, he will, surely, with Extermin coming around that backside. Here we go. As he dives in, they pull him back in, and Maluno flashes over the top. Extermin says, not just yet. I'm going to go following in. That is actually a shutdown coming around for Extermin. I'll tell you what, Hosan not too safe there either. What Giants saying, enough for now.
I love what Giants did right there. They took DragonBorns' cockiness and turned it against them. They lost the tower at the bot lane, but they picked up a couple of kills there. Then they had DragonBorns pushing the top side, picked up 2 kills there as well. So they're just getting so fed, so strong. I mean, Samex, if I remember correctly, he survived that engagement.
Yeah. No.
Actually, okay, so I think
he died.
He did die.
Yeah. Yeah, they killed him at the end there.
Yeah, sorry.
But Hosan, yeah, he's going to be taking that red buff away. If you look at the goal, it's still really, really close. 20 minutes in there, as we are going to have a slight pause. Not sure exactly what the problem in there. Apparently, Babetta's chat is currently not working, so the admin's there behind him. And that's going to be, I'd say, a nice little pause for both teams here to really have a chat without having to focus on the game. Figure out what's going right and wrong for them and change that as we get out of the pause.
See, so that's something I'm curious about, because I know in North America, you're not allowed to talk about the game when there's a pause, because they don't want you strategizing, if I remember correctly. I think I heard Rivington talking about that. Is it the same in Europe? Because I'm not really sure.
Well, good luck to our German admins understanding the Spanish team and making sure they're not strategizing in between. Honestly, I'm not 100% sure on that one. So I guess if it's in North America that way, then I'd imagine it will be the same. I mean,
it makes sense, especially when it's like a technical problem or a problem in game with like your chat not working. It wouldn't really be fair for any of the teams. But we do have it going to be resuming here in a short few seconds, and Giants looking very strong to pretty much keep this this advantage they have.
Yep, and actually Samex is headed down towards this dragon here, so it looks like Giants are going to be going for it. Not sure what DragonBorns are going to try to do. They've got that pink ward down there. And you can see that that dragon is below half HP. As Spontek's going to go in. Too late for the dragon, but his ultimate will get a good couple of knockups here. Extermin dives towards Shushay, but the intervention means he's not getting anywhere. Shut down as a cataclysm opens up here. Samex will flash away. Morden's going to hang in there, but will he have enough health to survive it? Crescendo was good, but the stun just not long enough to keep his teammate alive. And that was 2 kills. Vayne actually went super low as well from Caitlyn in the middle lane as Maluno now coming in. There's the flag and the finisher. Good pick up by Maluno.
And Jimbones Hosan went head-to-head in that mid lane where Hosan with that red buff was able to stay alive with that range. And great job by DragonBorns in general. I mean, they lost the dragon, but they still came in, picked up enough kills to make it worth their while, and they might even get the second tier turret.
Yeah, they've got 3 minions in there with them, and to be honest, Maluno and Spontex are both tanky enough here. Both got a Giants belt apiece to tank that if needed. They won't need it though, and that will be turret number 4 for the DragonBorns. They're now 1,500 gold up.
Yeah, and items are starting to develop a little bit more. As we see, you mentioned Spontex and Maluno being so tanky. Yeah, they currently are with those Giants belts. We see the Black Cleaver finishing up now for Spontex. And the thing is, we need to see a Randuin's coming out. I'm assuming out of Maluno, if anything, because you have to shut Jimbone's attack speed down once he finally gets that going. You know, every 3 hits, he does that % health damage. You have to stop that, but we do see Jimbone's first item, Infinity's Edge. So he's looking to really kill, you know, the squishies of the team, which is Hosan and Shushay at this point, and he honestly could, as long as he has that protection, and as long as Giants, you know, focus on that, they can win this game.
Well, right now, Giants just pushing themselves up that middle. Obviously, they only have that 1 turret. That's the outer turret in the bottom lane to their name. In terms of the other items that we've not really touched on here too much, that Warmog's done for Vi. We've got the Locket of the Iron Solari done for Jarvan. The 2 mid laners, Diana, got the Zonya's Hourglass plus a second blasting wand in there. On the other side, there's the Sheen. We've got the Needlessly Large Rod plus the blasting wand as well for Kayle.
And we've seen Shushay do this build before in the EU qualifiers. Yeah. He ran that heavy, just burst damage. Samek's going to get caught in this top lane and knocked up.
Yeah, gets knocked up there, and we see that he's not going to escape from that one. Spontex actually picks up the kill in the end, but a nice little gank, just in case of being caught out of position there for Shen.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple... I mean, you can't afford to get caught at this point, especially when, when you have to be split pushing. But Shushay, I mean, there's a couple ways to build Kayle, and this is, I guess, one of his favorites because you're so bursty that, yeah, Jimbones, like, if he got hit with the full combo, the Q with the Death Cap and the Lich Bane done, you're going to drop 3/4 health, and there's really not much you can do about that as long as Shushay can reach that back line.
And we see Hosan and Mover inside of that jungle as they are going to go in towards Morden, but as we said before, super tanky with that Warmog's already finished on him, but DragonBorns are starting to push towards these inner turrets in both the top and the bottom lane. Shen actually going to join the party in this one as they go in towards Shushay, but obviously he's going to have that time with the intervention. Jimbone's going to chase him back. Actually, we'll get the stun there against the wall. They give Jimbones a kill. Nicely played there from Giants to allow that to happen, and they've stopped the push in the bottom lane as well.
And also nice play by Shushay, because instead of going with Spontex towards the top side, he just split off you want to take one for the team, let Spontex survive, and let him live another day. But the bot lane, oh, look at that Crescendo coming out of Babetta.
Yeah, Extermin actually used that Zonya's there as well, which didn't get him away from the fight as he may have done before. Nice block from Babetta. Will stop that damage going through. So, DragonBorns still not able to take down those inner turrets in the top and bottom lane. Obviously, middle tower on the inner is already gone. They're going to go home, spend the money that they've just earned.
And Giants, I mean, it's step-by-step process what they're doing right now. They take the top turret while they stopped him at bottom, trying to do some damage onto the second tier turret, and they're turning the aggression that DragonBorns had against them by playing defensive and being in the right position at the right time. They're able to pick up the kills and then start pushing themselves.
There's Jimbones trying to steal away the golems. Actually, we'll get the small one. Big one. Spontek says, no, you don't. That's actually going to be mine. Or maybe Shush's if he decides to just steal it away there in the end. But Shushi actually following through here. Going to come to a ward. And actually, Jimbones may get caught here just about finishing off the recall before Shushay comes in the bush.
And Joe, looking at items again, just real quickly over onto the supports of both teams. Both went for that early Aegis. Both have the Philo Stones and the Cage's Lucky Pick, pretty much mimicking them. But at this point, we have the Sightstone done for Babetta, which gives them a nice little bit of an advantage, and it forces Mover to buy the wards, which, you know, it's kind of counterproductive because you you know, don't have the 3 free wards every time you go out there, but, you know, you have to keep that vision somehow, and he's doing that for his team. And it looks like actually Maluno is helping out with that situation as well. He's got, you know, the tanky items he needs, and he needs to help keep that vision, or DragonBorns just can start spiraling out of control.
Yeah, and that's the thing with him being 5-1-5 right now, and probably getting into that kind of tanky area that he wanted to be. He can start to help out on that front as well, and maybe free up a little bit of gold for the support to go in a different direction at this point. But we've hit a bit of a stale point, 25 minutes into this game. Both teams, you know, knowing that the gold lead is pretty much nothing. I mean, 600 gold at this point is really nothing to be talking about, as we almost at half an hour into it. So, Jason, where is the next fight going to come? I mean, we've got Dragon coming up in 30 seconds. Surely that's the point.
Yep, that was the nail on the head. I mean, we're going to see, I have to say, an all-out fight happening because both teams are pretty equal in strength. Vayne is starting to pull ahead for Giants, allowing them to, you know, completely win these fights. But, you know, DragonBorns, they don't really have any big major items to pick up at this point unless we see the Lich Bane out of Shushay. And over on the Giant side, I mean, we have the Sunfire Cape done on Shen, we have the Warmox done on Vi, Diana has the Zhonya's Hourglass to survive. Maybe the fan answer to Jimbones is going to be the next big indicator if they're wanting to force a fight, but it's going to be very even at this point.
Oh, Shushay here chasing down. Samox actually will use the intervention. And what Samox, you can see, is nice and tacky. And now Morden's coming in as well. Samox is going very, very low. Will flash over the side. Shushay not got that flash available. He's going to try and turn and run from this one. The Vault Breaker going to lock him down. He is going to die as we are now seeing Samox coming in from the side. In the meantime, DragonBorns are pushing out towards this middle inhibitor turret, but here comes Vayne around the side. Mover gonna get pulled in there. The stun comes down. Jimbones actually saved there by Extermin. The ace in the hole was tanked up by him, but the rest of the team are still following in from this one. Jarvan gonna get away. Will Caitlyn be able to do the same? Hosan taking a big chunk of damage there at the end, but he gets behind the tower.
And this is why Home Guard is so strong to have. We had Samox, he backed after that fight at the bot lane, got fully healed from it, then ulted into that mid lane right after. Shenny's so slippery with the Home Guard boots, it just makes him everywhere on the map at once. We do have Jimbones Giants going over for this Baron. We don't have a Pink Ward or an Oracle, so this is going to be very, very hard to pull off. Actually, the Pink Ward is put over the wall, not in the pit. And we could actually have Maluno come in for a steal here. He is level 13 to the 14 of Morden.
Well, let's see. Baron down to 2,000 HP. Here we go. And it is going to be stolen there. Maluno flashes away. Spontex is in the middle. Look at Extermin being destroyed. Spontex will flash away before dying, and they get the kill onto Extermin. What a move coming out of DragonBorns.
Great move indeed. Maluno just hopping in there and then taking the Baron, popping out with style with the flash, saying, guys, deal with it. I just took your Baron when you're trying to take it. The Pink Ward, for some reason, was put over the wall. I mean, it looked like just want to get vision over there to see anyone coming in, but you can't afford to do that when you don't have that vision onto Baron. And then Spontex going in the middle of that pit saying, guys, I'm in here, help me. And ends up flashing out himself, and Hosan picking up that one kill.
Well, that's the nice thing about Caitlyn as well. She's got the range to sit behind the Baron pit, and actually hit the Baron from that one.
Yep, and we do have DragonBorns taking that Dragon. They're, as you guys keep saying to me, team killing, never gonna live that one down, getting that Dragon done and extending that.
I didn't want to say anything, you brought it on yourself.
It was gonna come out eventually, I could tell, Joe, but Samek's gonna slightly be in trouble here at the bot lane, but I mean, that's what Shushay built. He has a death cap, he's going for that Lich Bane. He's not much more than that burst. He doesn't have that attack speed to really shred down Samek's.
Yep, and now we see the push through that jungle. What do they have ward-wise? A couple there for Taric as he puts one of them down. Jarvan still having those in there. We've actually got Blade of the Ruin King coming out for Spontex on Wukong as well. And 3 of them now in this bottom lane. 2 to defend. I mean, a simple numbers game there tells you that that's not good news whatsoever for Giants, especially not now as Maluno is going to join the party. Vault Breaker from Morden will just guide him safely towards that inhibitor turret. But to be honest, DragonBorns could keep going. Vayne's nowhere near.
Yeah, and they have the Baron, so any damage can be done. Someone's going to be healed up right away. They have the range on Hosan to go for it. They have the protection out of Maluno, the protection out of Shushay to keep him alive as well. This should be an inhibitor turret if they want to commit to it. Vayne has come back from that top side of the map, but still, we have Spontex pushing the top side, so split push, and the middle turret's already down to half health.
Yeah, nicely done from Spontex. Actually, Jimbones going out there, and Spontex is going to be happy to allow Jim to keep going in and pulling Jimbones away from the rest of the team here. He knows that at some point they're going to have to commit to something, as we are going to see Samux go in there for the taunt. Diana is going to surely jump in as a great crescendo comes across the 90 caliber net. Here is Spontex. Samux knocked up. Cataclysm comes down, and we do see 3 kills coming out. A triple for Caitlyn. Jimbones and Morden back away towards the fountain, but this is going to be the first inhibitor, and DragonBorns don't care about the rest. They are going straight through. The first Nexus turret here on the bottom side already going to take a lot of damage down to half as Jimbones is sniped off there right on the fountain. First Nexus turret already down. Second one's going to follow up here, and there's no way that they can stop DragonBorns winning this game. Brilliant performance. The DragonBorns going to take down Giants.
And that is right after the Giants took their victory over them last time, and that's the thing about League of Legends. That one mistake, engaging against a team that has Baron, when you have no inhibitors down, there's really no point in doing that. DragonBorns taking advantage of that situation and bringing home the victory.
Yeah, really good performance there from both teams as well. I mean, was for a very, very long time